There comes a moment when you realize that manifestation isn't about wishing hard. It's not about repeating affirmations, building vision boards, or writing your dreams 100 times in a pretty notebook. All of that can help, but that's not what creates reality. Because the universe isn't impressed by words. It responds to signals. And the signal it hears doesn't come from your conscious mind. It comes from your vibration, from the silent frequency your body transmits even when you say absolutely nothing. This is the part no one told you clearly. Manifestation isn't about wanting. It's about being. It doesn't matter if you say, "I am abundant," 20 times a day if everything inside you still screams scarcity. It doesn't matter if you visualize your dream home if every cell in your body still vibrates insecurity. Quantum physics has already proven this. The field responds to what you are, not what you occasionally think. And this is where most people get stuck. They do everything they were told to do, think positive, meditate, pretend they already have it, but they keep collapsing the same life, the same patterns, the same absences. And that's not bad luck, it's coherence. It's the universe mirroring, with pinpoint precision, exactly what you're transmitting energetically. So the real question isn't what do you want, it's what are you emitting? The answer lives in your emotional signature, in the frequency you carry every single day, often without noticing. That's why Dr. Joe Dispenza talks so much about coherence between mind, body, and heart, because when you think one thing but feel another, the field receives a scrambled signal, incoherent, weak, and manifestation in that state doesn't happen, not as punishment, but as vibrational mismatch. It's like trying to hear a radio station while the dial keeps spinning off frequency. You say you want prosperity, but your body still tenses up when you look at your bank statement. You affirm that you deserve love, but you feel a knot in your chest every time someone pulls away. You repeat that you're healed, that you're ready, that you're at peace, but something in you still vibrates fear, still expects the worst, still shrinks at the slightest threat. And that's where the blind spot of manifestation lies. It's not your intention that shapes reality. It's your state of being. The truth is uncomfortable but liberating. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you consistently sustain, with or without words. Your body remembers scarcity, rejection, struggle, and as long as those emotional memories are your dominant state, that's what the field will mirror back to you. Not out of cruelty, but out of resonance. And here's the detail that changes everything. If the body learned to vibrate fear, it can learn to vibrate love. If it was conditioned to react with anxiety, it can be reconditioned to respond with presence. But that doesn't happen through willpower or memorized affirmations. It happens through consistent repetition of new emotional states. You must teach your body to trust a reality it hasn't yet experienced, as if it were already real. That's why so many people get frustrated with affirmations and visualizations, because they do it with their minds, but their bodies don't believe it. And when there's that contradiction, the signal sent to the field is split, incongruent. The universe doesn't know which frequency to follow, so it reflects more of the same life, the same challenges, the same almosts that never fully materialize. True manifestation doesn't begin in thought, it begins in the body. It begins the moment you feel different before having any external reason to. When you decide to vibrate abundance without proof. When you feel love even when no one is there. When you breathe relief even though the problem seems unresolved. That's the turning point. The moment the universe stops responding to your mind and starts mirroring your new state of being. You can want it deeply. You can desire it with intensity, show up with commitment, follow every step. But if there's still conflict inside you between what you think, feel, and do, the field picks up on that incoherence. And in the quantum universe, incoherence doesn't generate a new reality. It creates static, weak signals, a blurred mirror. Manifestation doesn't fail because you're doing something wrong. It fails because who you are still doesn't align with what you say you want. And it's not about guilt. It's not about punishing yourself for feeling fear, doubt, or sadness. That's part of the process. But it's important to recognize that as long as those states are your normal, they continue broadcasting your dominant signal. And the field, which functions like a quantum mirror, doesn't distinguish right from wrong. It simply reflects what you most consistently emit. That's why people who think positively still feel stuck, because thought is only the beginning. If the body is still conditioned to anxiety, stress, or unworthiness, that's what the field hears. Your body is the most honest transmitter of your vibration. It may be silently saying, "I don't believe any of this." And in that moment, all your mental effort dissolves in the noise of incoherence. The good news? Coherence is trainable. You can teach your body to feel before anything happens. You can anchor new emotions, new internal responses, even without external changes. And when you begin to feel gratitude, love, and peace independently of what's happening around you, you stop asking and start informing. Your vibration shifts from a plea to a silent command, "I'm ready." It's this state of coherence where thought, emotion, and action vibrate in harmony that transforms your electromagnetic field, that aligns your energy with a new reality. And in that state, there's no effort, no anxiety, there's resonance. And in the physics of the unseen, resonance is what collapses infinite possibilities into just one, the one you finally chose to live. You've probably heard the phrase, "seeing is believing." But when it comes to manifestation, the logic flips. You have to believe in order to see. And not just with your mind, with your body. Because the body is the storehouse of your emotional history. It reacts first. It's the one that decides whether a frequency feels familiar or not. It's the body that says, "We're safe here," or "This feels dangerous," even if it's good. That's why to manifest something new, you have to create an emotional memory of something you haven't lived yet. You need to train your nervous system to feel peace before the resolution, to feel love before the relationship, to feel abundance before the money. Yes, it's counterintuitive, but that's exactly what breaks the cycle of repetition. Because the field doesn't move through expectation. It responds to vibrational evidence. And the only way to offer that evidence, before the reality shows up, is to feel as if it's already here. Joe Dispenza calls this living as if. Not as if it's pretend, but as if it's inevitable. As if that new reality is already unfolding behind the scenes. Because it is. With every coherent state you sustain, you strengthen the timeline of the version of you that already lives it. You stop chasing and begin collapsing. But be aware, your body will resist. It's been trained for years to scan for danger, to anticipate rejection, to expect things to go wrong. And that's not a flaw, it's biology. The limbic system wants to keep you in the known, even if the known is pain, because to it, the unknown feels unsafe. That's why you must train, repeat, sustain, until the new emotion becomes familiar, until the body says it's safe to be happy here. And when the body believes, everything changes. The field receives the signal without static. Your vibration organizes, your energy gains strength, and what was once a mere intention becomes a clear instruction to the universe. In that state, you're no longer asking, you're vibrating, you're being. And being is the only verb the field understands. You can spend hours repeating affirmations. You can do all the rituals, light candles, write down your goals, listen to reprogramming audios while you sleep, and still feel like nothing is really changing. Why? Because the quantum field, that invisible ocean where all possibilities already exist, doesn't respond to effort. It responds to coherence. Coherence is when your thoughts align with your emotions and your actions. When you think prosperity, feel prosperous, and act as someone who already lives that reality. That doesn't mean spending recklessly or pretending to live a life you don't have. It means acting with the energy of someone who trusts, who knows the path is already unfolding, even if the eyes can't see it yet. And the most fascinating part? Science backs this up. The heart, for example, emits an electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than the brain. When you feel gratitude, love, or peace, even without an external reason, that field organizes, it expands, and that's the signal the universe picks up as truth. Not what you want, but what you are. Bruce Lipton, through his research in epigenetics, has already shown that our internal environment is just as important, if not more, than our external one. In other words, you can change your reality by changing your vibrational state, and that begins not out there, but within, in the way you breathe, react, believe, in what you silently cultivate between one thought and the next. When you reach that state of coherence, Even if just for a few minutes a day, you tune into the version of yourself that already lives what you desire. And that frequency is powerful. It's magnetic. It's what makes the field respond almost instantly, not through magic, but through resonance. Because when you vibrate as if you already have it, the universe responds as if you already are. If the universe were an antenna, emotion would be the language it understands fluently. Not the language of pretty words, not the language of desperate wishes, but the silent yet powerful language you transmit from the heart. Emotion is the magnetic field of your being. It's what gives life to thought and turns intention into reality. Without emotion, a thought is just a fleeting electrical impulse. With emotion, it becomes a vibrational wave. And not just any emotion, but sustained emotion, the one that repeats day after day until the body recognizes it as the new normal. And that emotion can't depend on what's happening out there. It must be cultivated from within. Because if you wait for reality to change so you can feel good, you stay stuck in the cycle of reaction. And manifestation doesn't happen in a reactive state. It happens in a state of creation. Here's the real secret. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you feel. If you feel lack, you manifest more lack. If you feel anxious, you manifest more reasons to worry. But if you feel gratitude, love, excitement, even if nothing outside has changed, you begin to shift your frequency, and the field responds. Because it mirrors, it doesn't negotiate. This is the science of feeling. Joe Dispenza talks about it all the time. If you can sustain an elevated emotion long enough, you train your body to live in the future before it happens. And when the body lives the future ahead of time, the field collapses that possibility into form. It's as if you're telling the universe, "This is already true inside me," and the universe replies, "Then it will be true out there too." That's the quantum leap, the invisible bridge between what you don't yet have and who you've already decided to be. And you don't cross it with force or logic. You cross it with aligned emotion, coherent, powerful, an emotion that rises from the deepest place, the silent knowing that what you seek is already on its way to you. Most people live trapped between two places that no longer exist, the past, which is already gone, and the future, which hasn't arrived yet. The mind wanders, attention scatters, and with that, vibration becomes fragmented. But the quantum field only responds to now. It's in the present moment that you hold the power to collapse realities, shift frequencies, and create the new. Everything outside of that is noise. Being present isn't just about stopping thoughts of the past. It's about silencing the autopilot. It's breaking free from the programming that makes you react the same way to every challenge. It's interrupting the survival loop, where the body runs on fear, stress, and scarcity, and inviting it into a state of creation. That state only exists when you're aware of the now, because only the now is alive, only the now vibrates. This is where practices like conscious breathing, meditation, and mindfulness become tools of creation. Not mystical rituals, but internal technologies. The simple act of breathing with presence shifts your field. It sends a message to the body that it's safe, that there's no need to flee, fight, or resist. And in that state, the nervous system relaxes, and your energy opens to the new. Greg Braden says the field is a mirror, and this mirror doesn't reflect what you want. It reflects who you're being right now. That's why it doesn't help to think about love while vibrating rejection, or to wish for peace while living in inner conflict. Manifestation is immediate when the now becomes sacred, when you fill it with intention, emotion, and presence. The future you desire isn't ahead, it's here, disguised in the present moment. And it only reveals itself when you match its frequency. It's not a matter of time, it's a matter of resonance. And resonance can only be tuned in the now. That's why true spiritual practice, the one that transforms, is simple: to be where your feet are, with your mind, body, and heart in the same place. Many people catch a glimpse of the new vibration, a moment of clarity, a morning filled with peace, strength, connection. But soon after, everything slips back into the old self. The old habits, the doubting thoughts, the feelings of unworthiness, the gestures of self-sabotage, and then comes the discouragement. Nothing changed. But the truth is, what didn't change was the consistency with which the new was sustained. Transformation doesn't happen in big explosions. It's built in vibrational repetition. In in the silent commitment to keep being that higher version of yourself, even when the reality still looks the same, even when the old triggers show up, even when the body begs to return to what it knows, because it will beg, it will resist, it will try to protect you from the unknown. That's why Joe Dispenza insists, you must become greater than your environment, greater than your body, greater than time. Because those are the three forces holding your current identity in place. And if you want a new identity, you'll need to break those ties. You'll need to act as if you already are, feel as if you already have. And that takes presence, decision, repetition. This is where most people lose themselves, because they wait to feel confident before taking action. They wait for the result before believing. They wait to change on the outside before shifting on the inside. But manifestation doesn't work like that. It's reversed. First you vibrate, then reality responds. And if you don't hold the vibration long enough, it doesn't materialize. Not because it doesn't work, but because it was interrupted before completing the cycle. Sustaining the new you takes courage. Courage to say no to the old world, even when it's the only thing still visible. Courage to stand firm in the invisible, in the intangible, in the not yet manifested. Courage to be the vibration before it becomes fact. And that courage, once cultivated, becomes the most powerful vibrational signature there is, embodied faith. There comes a point in this journey when you finally understand what you've been chasing was never far away. Abundance, love, health, peace. All of these realities have always existed, vibrating in specific frequencies within the quantum field. And it's not that you need to chase them. You just need to tune in, like turning the dial of a radio until you find the right station. This station can't be reached with anxiety or urgency. It doesn't respond to the ego's rush. It reveals itself when there is alignment between what you think, what you feel, and what you do. And this alignment is called vibrational coherence. When you reach this coherence, there's no longer a separation between desire and reality. Desire becomes expression, reality becomes a mirror. This is what Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches with such clarity. The universe doesn't give you what you want. It reflects who you are being. And being is not something you fake. It's something you embody. You live it. You feel it with your entire body. And that's why true manifestation doesn't require effort. It requires congruence. You become the magnet, the channel, the living frequency of what you want to experience. Manifestation stops being an event and becomes a state, a way of existing. You wake up with gratitude before the reason. You feel peace before the change. You smile before the arrival. And this isn't delusion. It's creation. Because in the quantum field, what you feel as true takes form. And what you repeat with faith becomes matter. And then something profound happens. Reality stops being a test. It becomes a consequence. You stop fighting life and start dancing with it. You begin to live in rhythm with the field. You begin to attract effortlessly everything that once seemed impossible. Because now you are tuned in, and where there is resonance, manifestation becomes inevitable. In this very moment, you are collapsing realities, not through effort, not through desperation, but through what silently vibrates within you. You no longer need to beg, plead, or wait, because what you desire already exists, and it's responding to your state of being. And that state can be accessed now if you choose to feel before you see, be before you have, believe before you touch. True manifestation is not about conquering, it's about allowing. It happens when you let your body tune into peace before it ever shows up. It happens when you move through your day with the posture of someone who's already won, even without a medal on your chest. It's when you realize the miracle isn't what happens outside, it's what awakens within. To live like this is to be the author of your own field. It's waking up and remembering that you hold the code, that you are the transmitter, that you are the channel through which reality shifts, and every aligned thought, every sustained emotion, every conscious choice, all of it draws with precision the next chapter of your life. It doesn't matter what your past has shown you. It doesn't matter what others said was possible. The field has no memory. It doesn't care about your old stories. It only responds to who you are being now. And if now you choose to vibrate as the creator, not the victim, then the entire universe reorganizes to serve, to reflect, to deliver. And you don't have to do this alone. There is a living, subtle, loving intelligence that guides you, that listens, that responds, not to your words, but to your heart in coherence. And when this frequency becomes your new home, you no longer need to look for miracles. You begin to live them. You don't need to wait any longer, because everything you've been seeking has already begun to move toward you. The only question now is, are you ready to receive? Ready to hold this new frequency, even when your eyes can't yet see it, but your heart already knows? Remember, it's not about chasing, it's about embodying. Not about running toward what you want, but aligning with what is already yours by frequency. Your new reality isn't somewhere far off in the future. It's vibrating here and now, waiting for you to say yes. If this message stirred something deep within you, if you felt something light up in your field, then the journey has already begun. And you don't have to walk this path alone. Here on this channel, we continue to expand consciousness, offer vibrational clarity, and share tools to awaken your true power as a creator. If this resonated with you, subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who's also ready to leave the old cycle behind and live in full alignment with what they truly desire. Because transformation is collective, and every awakened soul activates the field for everyone around them. Feel it, be it, manifest it, and remember, the universe always listens to what you vibrate.